Hi there, and thank you for tuning in to Dúchascopy TV. I'm Darren McDermott in the Geneva studio with Guillaume Taylor, CEO of Quadia Impact Finance. So Guillaume, I understand that you invest in many different types of companies. Now, one I found very interesting was minimonos.com. Now, why exactly did Quadia decide to choose this company to invest in?
The United Nations has set Millennium Goals that are to fix the major global social and environmental issues. And we believe that the way to fix those issues is through a change of mindset. So the problems in achieving those global millennium milestones are not a question of technology, are not a question of infrastructure or logistics, and I don't even think it's a question of economy or finance. It's really a question of change in mindset. So we are adults, and it's very difficult for us to change our mindsets. We've been used to living in a certain way, so we have to start with children. So education has a big role to play in these Millennium Development Goals. And Minimonos fits perfectly in this educational sector. It's a company that we looked at and we invested in through Go Beyond, which is one of the leading European business angel networks. And we are a member of Go Beyond. And we liked Minimonos for three reasons. First, in terms of social and environmental issues, it covers a wide spectrum of these issues. So it goes from recycling to reuse of materials to eco projects. It also looks at donation, philanthropy strategies. It looks at renewable energy. And the very few sites have such a wide and interesting scope in the social and environmental sector. That's the first reason. Second reason, the graphics are fun. It's a fun, entertaining site. I like the graphics. We like the graphics. We tested it with children, and we found that it was the most entertaining site that we had seen. And thirdly, it's an educational website that's linked, that's attractive to boys. And most of the social and environmental educational games, video games or web games, are mostly attractive to girls. And boys will not go on websites that cater to girls. But girls will go on websites that are catered to boys. And so they structured the website to attract boys. And it's been a great success because now they have a good mix of boys and girls. So there are more than 1 million children that are registered to use Minimonos. And these are 1 million children that are going to grow up to become decision makers in due time, and will be able to integrate easily and understand the social and environmental issues that maybe we are having trouble understanding.
And which companies that you invest in do you think help society the most?
Well, we call them strongly impactful companies, and there are probably 95% of companies in the world comply to social and environmental norms for compliance reasons. For reasons of reputation, for reasons of avoiding disaster, for reasons of compliance, as I mentioned. So it's a cost base for them. It's a necessary cost of doing business. But I would say there are about 5 companies that integrate these social and environmental issues deep in the DNA, and they see it as a business opportunity, as a source of future revenue and a source of business development for them. And these are the kind of companies that we're trying to target. And they understand that these social and environmental issues are business opportunities, that they have to be integrated in the financial and economic objectives, and they have to be sustainable. And so those are the companies that we target. And there are many of these companies around, so we call them strongly impactful companies.
And in your opinion, what are the best benefits and achievements of impact investing?
Well, it allows us to look at innovative and creative business models, to look at them differently, to understand them, to understand the global issues. And it allows us also to, let's say, give a value, monetize the social and environmental issues and not differentiate them with the financial issues. And I don't think we can separate both or all three, social, environmental, and financial issues. And I think the traditional financial market is looking at mostly the financial issues and focusing on that and the best and quickest way to maximize financial profit. But I think in the long run, we have to also maximize social and environmental return. And the difficulty is understanding the three, integrating them together. But that's what impact investors do.
And what does Quadia do differently than other impact investing companies?
I think it's really the impact measurement that we understand. And impact measurement for us is not just analyzing a company and saying, and making sure that they comply to different standards and making sure that they're not doing anything bad. But we're really using the impact measurement as a driver to business. So we are going to use that tool in our system to say this is where we should invest. And the impact measurement is not just something that we have to do to avoid to do bad, but it's really something that's going to drive business development, drive profitability, and drive added value.
And recently Goldman Sachs said it plans to invest 10 million into a New York jails program. Now, what is your thoughts on this type of investing?
I personally love these type of innovative, creative mechanisms. They're great. And they started really in the UK, and a company called Social Finance and also a company called Quadia have been structuring these social bonds for a number of years. And it's a perfect way to bring together the private sector, governments, and publicly orientated foundations and associations, bringing them together, creating financial market orientated products, but applying them to issues that impact directly governments and for which foundations, associations are trying to work for. And traditionally, these three sectors have worked individually. They didn't trust each other, and they felt that they could solve all the problems by themselves, and we realized that they can't. The social bonds are bringing them together and allowing private sector to help in solving public sector issues. The private sector is full of cash, and oftentimes it doesn't know how to allocate or where to allocate the cash, so everybody's going a little bit in the same direction, which is creating volatility and creating increasing risk. And then you have foundations and governments that are cash poor. And so why not bring those two together, the cash rich and the cash poor, and create mechanisms that really have a huge added value. And these social bonds are just picking off, and I'm glad that the Obama administration has really looked at this and decided to support it. In Australia also, the Great Barrier Reef Foundation is structuring a bond with the help of Goldman Sachs as well. And so these are fascinating mechanisms. They're interesting, and we're looking at them closely because they, I think, are the future for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Dukascopy TV. Now, if you enjoyed this interview, then click back to the website for many more like it. But for now, goodbye.